Welcome back, everybody. Please click on Follow Presenter, and we're going to move on to the final course for this week's presentation, Construct Schema Dynamically with the SchemaScanner. So this course will consist of kind of a brief explanation of why you might want to use the SchemaScanner, and then a series of exercises where you'll get to use the SchemaScanner transformer. So what is the SchemaScanner? Just grab the URL here. When we were using the table, the schema table resource, that was bringing in our schema definition that we could read directly from that resource. You also noticed in the exercise we had a feature reader. And for the feature reader, when it reads in the data, it also creates a schema feature, which we could then manipulate if we need to. We can make changes to it, things like that in the workspace by dealing with that feature. But what do you do if we are reading in data sets from something that isn't the feature reader? We're reading in data sets from a normal reader, or more likely nowadays, we're using some form of connector transformer or an HTTP caller doing a REST API call. So we bring in a JSON payload. How do we get to that schema? And the answer is the SchemaScanner transformer. So just keep in mind that the schema is the sort of sum totality, the aggregate of the layer names, attribute types, and allowed geometry. So with the SchemaScanner, you can basically feed whatever data that you have into that. It'll scan that and create a schema feature. You can then use that schema feature later in the workspace to compare to other schemas. You can check for schema drift, and then finally use that as the output. When you create that feature, it does create a format attribute and attaches it to the feature called FME schema handling. Let's see, did we show that on here? No, but it's FME schema handling, and it gives it a value of schema only, so that the writer knows this is not a normal feature to be written out. This is specifically a schema feature. So let's see, just reviewing what it has in the manual here. So reasons why you may want to use this particular transformer: you want to ensure the dynamic writer is receiving a valid schema. It's receiving something from the source data set. Again, like I said, this works really well with something like the HTTP caller. If you have the HTTP caller, you might not know what kind of JSON is coming in. And so this allows it to define the schema on the output. Also, this is really handy if you want to modify the schema. Earlier, there was questions about how do I handle little variations in attribute names. And there, an attribute renamer can be really handy. You could enter in all the possible values for your attributes and rename it to something. Okay. So that is an introduction to what the SchemaScanner does and why you may want to use it. Getting close to the top of the hour here, so please review the lesson, and we'll also take a 10-minute break this time, give you a little bit more time. So we'll continue at 11:10. Good luck, everybody.